Hey everyone, welcome back to another author chat. I almost forgot my hat. So let me put on my hat real quick. This is my customized Santa hat, and I love it so much because it has my name on it. And so you're on with Olivia Vo, your Savvy Social Pro. And I have been just conducting all these amazing author chats, I like to call them, with each of our amazing authors of the upcoming The Stories of Us. And that's going to be released on Wednesday, just in time for the winter solstice, just in time for Christmas. It makes a fabulous Christmas gift for your family and friends. And I am delighted because we have the honor of interviewing Mila Johansen. She's our amazing, devoted teacher, writer, and publisher extraordinaire who has been on the forefront of all these amazing compilation books, anthologies. You'll recognize her because we did the Cinderella monologues. She was a contributing author into Live Life and Wow. And now this is our last book of the year before we move on to 2023, The Stories of Us. And it was a very much a different style of writing, focusing on our memoirs. And so the theme for tonight will be daydreams. So, do you believe in daydreams? When was the last time that you had a daydream and did you act upon it? So those are things that we're going to be talking about with Mila today as it relates to her chapter. So please, everyone, help me welcome from Pen to Publish, Mila Johansen. Hey, Mila, there you are. I love that you got the butterflies in your background.
Yeah. You know what? I found this whole card of them at the dollar store. And I'm not sure what to do with them yet because today I just got this beautiful, I got them on Etsy, panda published to put on the wall behind me. And it's beautiful on Etsy. They make them. It's really substantial, really big. So I'm not sure how I'm going to arrange it.
That's wonderful. And oh my gosh, I think this is a popular time where we have so many people commenting in the chats already. Russ Hedge is watching. Oh my gosh. Hi, Russ. Thank you so much for your support. So glad that you're here. And thank you. Yes, I love my glasses. There's a story about them, by the way, in my other book, Live Life and Wow. And it's all about how the glasses came to find me. And
It's a great story. Great story.
Thank you, Mila. Rise of Broken Women. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh my gosh, Diana. Thank you so much. Diana Oluchisino. And of course, Celeste Martin, my favorite colleague of all. Yes, thank you, Celeste. Welcome, welcome. So, Mila, this was a big project for us. I mean, we hadn't done 12 weeks before. You've done 6 weeks, but this was like a 12-week program. You know, how did that come about that you designed it to be 12 weeks?
Yeah, I was doing 6 weeks, and it was great for just when we were doing 6 weeks and not ending in a book. But I've been doing anthologies for about 40 years because I'm a teacher and I've been teaching offline. And when COVID hit, I had to put everything online. So I took all these classes, I learned how to do it, and so I have a lot of mentors, and I mentor a lot of people, and I'm helping tons of people easily put their books together and get them on Amazon, which has never been easier. But when I was doing the Cinderella monologues, I always make beautiful books, beautiful books. And what happened was I had to meet with everyone every week to get it done. And I thought, wow, it should be a class. So instead of 6 weeks, I'm doing 12 weeks. And the first 4 weeks is real exciting because we're doing the writing. I'm actually teaching some grammar because no matter how many people tell me they know their grammar, there's these few little rules that most people don't know. And then we get it edited professionally, and that's the big money. That's what costs the most when you're doing a book. Amazon is completely free. But then, so anyway, so then the second 6 weeks, as you know, we just finished today, is doing the advertising and the launch and learning how that goes so that everybody who's in the class is ready to launch their own books. And at the same time that we're doing the monologues, those could be short books for them. And some people can load their books while we're teaching you blow by blow how to load your books. And it's a very exciting class because I don't think anyone else is doing anything like it, where I am showing I'm bringing also in some experts to every class. I'm showing every single person how to do every single thing, even build up your Facebook, even save the name of your book with the Facebook community group. Even if you don't use it, it saves your name. And all these secrets and tricks and wonderful, wonderful hacks. It's been so much fun. This has been a really lovely group of people who are really serious. And what I love most when I teach is when someone does everything I ask and they really learn from it. And one of the women took her book that she had already made with another company. She did screenshots of it, and she by herself figured out how to load it up. And so I'm so proud of her, Robinette, who tells the story of a legacy in her family, trying to find out what happened to her grandmother and where she came from, and when she secretly disappeared 80 years or so ago. Anyway, and she really helps us so we could look at the legacy of our family and our ancestry and find out what happened. She did so much sleuthing, and it was amazing. It's an amazing story in there how she found looking for Laura. And we have quite a variety in this book. We have one woman who was raised in a Mennonite community, which I think is just really fascinating. And then another man is telling his stories of being young and, the trials of finding out who you are and knowing about girls in high school. And, so that's a really good story. And we have quite a few. And Olivia herself, yourself, is doing an amazing story about siblings and she and her brother. And I love your story, Olivia.
Thank you. I just wanted to get the chat going because so many people are watching. So please, if you've got questions about book compilation projects, about anthologies, if writing and publishing is on your goal list for 2023, stick around to the end because we've got an amazing offer we want to share with you too. But if you have questions about that, please put it in our comment chat. We'd love to see the comments on the screen here. So thank you so much for everyone for participating. Yes, I think what I really enjoyed about this class, which is different from your other classes, because I've taken many, is the intimate setting. We didn't have a big author group, and that was okay. We had just the right amount of people that we could, have individual time with and create an intimate setting. And because, when you're writing a memoir, there's some really deep-seated issues, right? It's not the same as like creative writing or fiction or business writing. So this was like some really uncovering, like you said, like family secrets and family traditions and family history.
I see a question from Kat. What's the best suggestion for overcoming the fear of getting started? Okay, well, I'm the expert at that, right, Olivia?
You are.
Start. Just do it. 20 minutes a day is all we ask. That's the big word on the street. If you write 20 minutes a day, you'll have a book ready. The famous author, Toni Morrison, said she only had 15 minutes a day because of work and raising children. So she finished her first novel and only writing 15 minutes a day. And I even say 5 minutes a day will end up as a book. So, and usually I'm actually tricking you because you'll write more than that. But if you could at least sit down in the morning, like a meditation or something, and write 5 minutes a day. But the main thing, Kat, is to start. In fact, there's so many articles written about me for the last 40 years, and almost every single one, once the interviewer was done with me for the newspapers and everything, they name the article, Just Start or Just Do It. And so you work your way out. I just wrote a novel in NaNoWriMo, where you write a novel in a month last year. And this last scene came to me. So I wrote the last scene. And one of the best ways to start writing is, and I have everyone do this. I had them do it in this class. I'm going to have them do it when we do Write Your Short Book in a Day on January 14th. Write a bullet list. And Olivia's done this with me many times. You write a bullet list of everything that you don't want to forget, like, oh, the time we went to the beach with mom, oh, the time I almost drowned, oh, blah 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 blah. Or if you're doing a business book, you want to go, I want to hit economics, I want to hit advertising, and you just do a bullet list so you don't forget everything you want to do. And guess what? That magically becomes your outline. And I've had so many people write their books from doing that. I'm doing that now. I used to be what we call a pantser, which means flying by the seat of your pants, no outline. And I've become an outline from teaching that technique, an outliner. And so now I'm what you call a, wait, there's a term. Um,
Outliner.
Maybe Russ knows. It's called pant liner or something. I can't remember now. Where you're both. I'm both. So you make an outline, and then all of a sudden you go, no, it's got to go here, and you just switch it, and you don't have to go by that outline. But if you just make that bullet list, then you won't forget everything. And once in a while, the bullet list will turn into chapters that come out perfect right from the beginning. Like when I did my dog book, they're pretty funny. Well, I did this book, From Cowgirl to Congress, about my famous suffragette grandmother. Every woman's story of winning the right to vote. And afterwards, it was such a heavy duty book with 98 very rare pictures and letters. I had to write a fluffy book. So I wrote a book about my dogs and dog training. And a funny way, avant-garde ways I've trained my 20 dogs I've had in my life. And so that book, I just wrote down what I didn't want to miss. And somehow the chapters came out funny automatically because they're dogs. And then you go back and you rearrange the chapters and you rename them, but mainly just make a bullet list so you don't forget things. That's the best way to get started.
And I think one of the advice that I really like from you, Mila, is, write the chapter that you know the best, right? So when you're making your topic list, like go to you don't have to write in order. I used to like think I have to write in order. But you're like, no, just write about what jumps out at you, what motivates you, what inspires you. Start there, and then you can rearrange it later. So I really like that advice too. And I've done 6 books this year, and half of them are with you. So your formula works. Your formula definitely works, which is getting started, 20 minutes a day. And I really appreciate how much our relationship has come, because it started with Heart Notes. It started the Heart Notes anthology. I mean, that was a book compilation project with Steph Garvin, Irma Goose, and myself, and you came along as our coach. And then from there, it just sparked a fire. So,
You're a
but
really good writer. Her writing is really stellar and becoming more stellar every day.
and like you said, I think it just comes with practice, like just setting aside that time, 10 minutes or 20 minutes. And the other thing you say too is don't do research, right? Like just write it. Like don't go like look up research and find all this stuff. You can do that after. The most important thing is just get on paper first.
Well, you got to have a dedicated time, whether it's 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 hours, 4 hours, that you're only doing new writing. I learned this from a man at Comic-Con that I take classes with every year. And he said he has this huge whiteboard behind him. He's an outliner, 100%, but he's willing to change it. And he writes out his outline, and he says he writes from 8 to 12 every day, which is exactly what Isaac Asimov did. I think he got the idea from him. And he writes only new writing. And if he wants to do research or editing, he can do that later in the day, anything he wants later. Because a lot of us go, oh, I got to read the whole thing before I can write. No, no, no. It has to be new writing or you'll never get it done. And Barbara Kingsolver says the best thing. She says, give yourself permission to write a bad book and then work on it until it's a good book. So blather it down. I have so many people tell me, well, I'm a perfectionist and I want everything to be perfect. Well, it will be perfect if you get it done.
Awesome. Yeah, so I really love this program. I think it's so unique. That's different from other writing programs is that we do spend so much time the first 6 weeks on just like learning to practice, setting that discipline, learning the craft. And then the other 6 weeks is devoted to Amazon KDP. We learn about the publishing mechanics of it. We learn about all the amazing attributes that Amazon gives you as an author, setting up your Amazon author page. And also learning how to market the book, right? So people don't know you're an author unless you tell them about it. So there's all these things we can do to market and launch a book.
Yeah, and one of the best attributes of Amazon right now, well, for a long time, is that they give you samples. So you never do your book without a sample. So you got to give yourself plenty of time. If you know your launch is going to be in 2 weeks, you got to start your sample process early. And they give us these samples, and this book actually is a sample because it has the gray line across. And so then we can go, oh wait, we don't want our page number. Oh, my headers are wrong, or blah, blah, blah. You can edit it, and you can buy extra ones to give to your beta readers that are in your neighborhood, your first readers. And then I think the biggest cost we had was editing, because you don't want to put out more bad books. So Amazon is completely free. You could go join KDP today, and the advantage of doing that is that they have KDP University, where you can take all kinds of tutorials, and don't be overwhelmed. Just do one thing at a time. And then you can also get templates, and you can write right into your template, which is exciting. But I always say, get the template with the placeholders, because then you go, oh, title page, my title, right, there's that. Okay, black out the name, put your name in. Then you do the chapters. But to learn how you would like your book to look for self-publishing, go to your bookshelf tonight or tomorrow or anytime and open 10 books and see how they did it, and see what you like. How do you want your chapters arranged? Where do you want your page numbers? At the top or the bottom, the middle, the corner? I like the corner because I think a person reading the book can find the chapters easier that way. And I like to do headers a certain way, which is the title at the top, and then the chapter, title, chapter, So there's a lot to it, but don't feel overwhelmed. Just do one thing at a time and enjoy the process, because it's really fun. It's kind of like a puzzle.
Excellent. So Celeste says, love it. It will be perfect when it's done. So thank you, Celeste, for reinforcing that. It's a great reminder for today, to let go, right? Be okay with some imperfections. There's always time for editing. And we can always have an editor with to cover your back.
Exactly. In fact, I know I'm one man I take classes with in film, because I make little small films for festivals. And I write I can help with screenplays too. I love doing screenplays, and I teach the format of that, which is an exact format, for anyone to want to look at it. And so he taught a class on writing about, oh, I don't know, 10 years ago. And I go with him every year. And he said that he writes the books as fast as he can, and he has another man edit them and put them together for him, and he has 25 books. So the more books, and he taught me this, the more books you put on Amazon, the more you build your algorithms. And so I'm teaching people the modular thing. So let's say you start with a chapter in one of my programs, and so that could, then you can expand it to be, the shortest book you can put on Amazon with a spine is 36 pages. Because you want a little bit of a spine. And then if you go to 98 pages, then you can have your name and the title of the book on the spine. But most people are opting to do like the short, let's see, the 25-page book. Where'd my dog book go? I just had it here. Oh, well, anyway, the 20 to 35, 120 to 135 page book. So you can make your book longer and longer, and have several books of the same book. That's fine. This is my book, 101 Surprising Tips to Promote Your Book. And I don't know if you have it with you. You could give everyone that today if they want it. And it's 70 pages. And it's exciting because I'm helping a lot of people also do another thing, is take your longer book. I'm going to take my grandmother's book, 300 pages, and I'm going to divide it into 5 parts: her tragic life in Colorado, her life putting together the Pulitzer School of Journalism and going to Smith College, first woman lobbyist at the Capitol, then her time in London, speaking all over London with George Bernard Shaw, and then coming back to DC and teaching Eleanor Roosevelt public speaking. So I'm gonna take this book apart and make 5 smaller books, and then, but what I'm helping a lot of people do is take your blogs. Some people have a lot of blogs. My one friend and client had 500 blogs, well written. I said, girl, you've got 5 books there. Well, she started making them into books, and it turns out you can only put about 20 or 30 in a book. So she probably has about 20 books. And so she's doing the process now. So you may have material already that you can use. I'm helping another person take their college dissertation into a book. And so there's a lot of ways of looking at it. I do the modular and I invented it because I've written 22 plays and musicals that go around the world. And if I was at home, you'd see them all behind me on these shelves. And what happened was I wrote them all long for our theater company here in this town. But what happened was I realized that most teachers and theater companies didn't have time to do the hour and a half, 2 hour production. So I cut them to medium and short. And boy, I can cut anything now. And once I cut them, I didn't miss everything I cut. So I'm teaching people take your long to short or take your short to long. And it's the modular format of putting out your books and getting more on Amazon to build your algorithms.
I love it, Mila. I love this comment. Amy, Amy is saying this. I mean, she took the whole class, but is loving this refresher. So thank you, Amy. And Mariel says, "Oh, thank you, Mariel. I'm a big fan of you too. So thank you again for tuning in and for your support. So hopefully this will inspire you. I know there's a story inside each and everyone who's watching. And Mila, I'd love your suggestions. I mean, think about all the things that you already are writing. If you could put that together as a collection of stories and books. And I think the one thing that caught my attention in working with you is that many chapters make up a book. So you can just be responsible for one chapter, have other people collaborate with you, and then you have a book. It's like that, just like magic. So, so that's what I really love about, just going back to kind of taking off that pressure off that you don't have to do it alone, right? You can do these social collaborations and get the book
Right.
done.
And once you have that chapter, you can expand it because most people, they don't know, well, how do I start? Like she asked, and this and that. But once your chapter's done and you only have to do 2,000, 3,000 words, then you go, wow, I can do it. I'm confident. It's amazing. And I will give you permission to do it easily, fast. And it's never been easier to self-publish, and your family will love it. Even if you just wrote your memoir for your family, I always say, let's write our memoir so our children will know we were young once. I love that one.
So let's go back to that for a minute because your chapter title is Daydreams Really Do Come True. Can you tell us a little bit about, your daydreaming experience, how that all started?
Yeah, it's funny. I wanted to be a writer my whole life from reading so many books as a kid. And when I was 8 years old, we went to see Pollyanna, one of the first, dates me, one of the first movies ever out. And I came home and I wished there was a screen on my wall and I could watch it anytime I want. Well, guess what? We can now. Poof, which always surprises me when I think about it. And so I came home, and it was Pollyanna, and then Mary Poppins came out the next year. Well, I came home from Mary Poppins, and I had such an imagination. The teachers didn't like me. I was looked out the window. And in fact, in this book, I put a poem about me looking out the window and becoming the writer I was going to be later on, but not paying attention and being labeled things. And so what happened was I came home and I did some chalk drawings. Not very good because I can't even draw stick people even now, but I did these chalk drawings and I closed my eyes and I tried to jump in like they do in Mary Poppins. And and it didn't work. So I tried it again. I probably did it like 8 times and it didn't work. I still believe I can do it though. I still do believe it somehow inside of me. And so then I thought, well, I love Nancy Drew and the Bobbsey twins and Oz. My mom read me all the Oz books and then I read them all to myself, all 14. And then I I thought I could write and make the magic that way. So I started writing my first novel. I wrote a page and a half and I quit because I was 8 or 10, 9, whatever I was. And so I always wanted to be a writer from the very beginning. And at 18, my mother tricked me, and that's why I'm tricking you with 5 minutes. My mother said, Mila, I know you want to be a writer. Why don't you write 1 sentence a day for a month? I thought, well, I can do 1 sentence a day. Well, you can't. It's like potato chips. So I would write a whole page or a page and a half or 3 pages. And by the end of the month, I was a writer. So that's why I tell you 5, 10 minutes. And if you do longer, great. But if you just did that, then you would become the writer. So I'm tricking you like my mother tricked me.
I love it. I love the fact that it's okay to daydream. It's okay to play in our fantasy land and our chalk drawings.
I even imagined my husband. I would talk to him through the stars, and then I met him at college in a most extraordinary way. Is that we went to an intramural baseball game that a friend had invited us to be on the team, and we were the only two people who showed up that day. So we went out. That was funny. But he was exactly who I pictured in my daydreams, and then I daydreamed becoming a writer, and then I daydreamed everything. And finally, when I was an adult, I finally had to remember to keep daydreaming because I got to make more things happen, right? So daydreaming totally works, or maybe we call it manifestation. I have a funny story. Do we have time for the house story? Okay. When I was about 8, again, a lot of things happened when I was 8. We were, or 8 or 10, we were driving down the freeway, and we went every Sunday to church. And on the left side of the freeway was an A-frame, kind of woodsy looking house, but nice looking. And I started daydreaming, I want that house. I would love to live in that house. And so I finally, they had an open house sign. I said, Mom, pull over. We got to go see this house. So, we had no money. We were so poor. I didn't even have dinner sometimes at night. She was a teacher, but a single mother, and we go to bed hungry. And then don't feel sorry for me though, because later on I married an organic farmer and I have all the food I ever want. And so what happened was we pulled over, we went in the house, we looked at it, and I just knew I could have the house. I mean, I was 10, I was going to go home, make the money, right? So I started doing chores around the neighborhood. Well, of course I couldn't make the money for that. So you never know when your daydreams will actually come true, or your manifestations. So what happened was, I grew up and I married rich, and we have a huge mandarin orchard. We've been married 45 years, and my father-in-law helped us build a house because he wanted to move in with us, and we all knew we lived well with him because we lived with him on the ranch. So we built this house, kind of big and kind of beautiful, and he paid for half of it. And so what happened was, one day I went down to pick lavender below the house, and I turned around and looked back at the house. It was the exact same A-frame house that I had wanted when I was a kid, but 3 times as big.
I love that story. I love it so much. And I agree with you. Daydreaming is a form of manifestation. So that's your big takeaway for tonight. And speaking of, I think we're on to something here about writing the memoirs. Number one, I think your timeline is perfect because it is just in time for Christmas. I mean, we are launching tomorrow. It's going to be available for sale on Amazon tomorrow, winter solstice. And if you've got Amazon Prime, it'll be there like the next day. So if you're looking for last minute gifts for Christmas, get the book, The Stories of Us. And so I think this timeline really works well. And I think a lot of people are going to be inspired because why not capture your family memories and stories, right, onto paper and leave a legacy? And you also say this about writing so that your children will know that you're young ones. So we have a picture of you at 18.
With my famous grandmother, when she was almost 90 in her late 80s.
So yes, I'm going to pull up this picture right now because it's. I love looking at old pictures because we're talking about the stories of us, and so us includes photographs. So here we go. Look at this picture of Mila at 18. I love this picture so much, Mila. You look so youthful.
Yeah, and that's my grandmother. Who spoke. She had a career till 94. She spoke with Gloria Steinem, Marlo Thomas, and Jane Fonda in Hollywood several times, and took me along in her early 90s. And that's my grandfather. You guys thank him right now. You can thank him because FDR hired him to put together the entire Social Security department with 2,000 people under him. Whatever that year, it's in the book. The reason I write books is then I can leave it in there. So his name was Hugh Butler. He was a very famous concert pianist in his own right, and he would play private concerts for me, and he was amazing. And so he put together Social Security for you. And there's my grandmother Jessie right there.
I love it. How precious that you got to grow up with your grandparents and you got to know them too.
I was with them all the time. I was with my grandmother. We were tied at the heart. We were so close. We were always close. And my grandfather too, he would tell me stories, and he was really a magical fellow.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah. So I love this picture. You still have the same blonde hair.
Yeah. Hey, same color, same color.
Same color.
My grandmother had black, jet black hair all her life and never dyed it. She into her 90s.
Amazing. Yeah. And that's one of the things I had asked each of the authors for these author chats to bring in like photos so we could like discuss the photos and see their family members. So if it's okay, I'll share you mine because I talk about my brothers.
Oh,
So
please,
I've
yeah.
got my photos here. So this is my family album. So in the top left corner, that's my brother Donald and his best friend Loy. So they look alike, don't they? But they're not even like blood related. They just, had this very beautiful friendship.
And look at you, beautiful.
And then the picture here on the right hand side, these are my brothers when they're both younger, and that was our study room. So growing up, we had like a whole dedicated study room where we could do our homework. So
Wow.
that was our very first computer. It's an NEC in the corner there. Yeah, I love my brothers. And this is our first vacation. My aunt had lived in California, and my mom took all of us to visit her. And we were on a plane, and we felt like movie stars. It was our first time on an airplane and going to see our aunt and going to a new state. So we had so much fun. I think I'm about 12 years old at that time. And with
I
my
love
two
that
little
look on your face. I love that.
yeah, not much has changed, right? Still got the same smile.
Where are the glasses, though? Just kidding.
I didn't have them at that time. But yeah, look how beautiful my mom is. My mom looks a movie star too. But yeah, so
Yeah.
there's something very endearing about looking at these photos and
Yeah.
remembering that time, remembering who we were and what we were doing. And so this was taken at Great America. It's a big amusement park out in California too. So to read more about my sibling story, you have to get the book too.
It's a good story. It's a really good story. Hey, and I wanted to tell Amy something. I know Amy because I presented so much in class, and now we have the live recordings. But guess what? I'm sending you guys just to let you know the workbook this week, and it kind of goes over everything again. So don't let it overwhelm you. Just do one thing at a time.
Indeed, just do one thing at a time. So we are nearing the end, and we definitely want to invite all of you to join us on our Zoom celebration launch. It is open to the public. We invite you to join our public Facebook group too, if you would like to participate, because we're going to be having a gathering of all the authors together in one place. You'll get to hear more stories, maybe hear some excerpts. We're going to do some fun prizes, giveaways, a wheel of names. So you definitely want to be there and participate. Our link will be live on Amazon at that time, so you can order your copies and support your fellow authors. So this is the link here on the screen. It's Stories of Us Authors. That's our public Facebook group. And then we're going to be launching on Wednesday for the winter solstice. And that is 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time that you want to see it all in action. So thank you so much. And we are on to our next project. So coming soon in February, we have another 12-week writing and publishing program. And this time around, we're going to take a turn from the memoir style into more business writing. And the title of this one will be Accelerate Your Business Success, ... So please share with us your tech tips, power skills, and expert advice for the new and seasoned entrepreneur. So again, look at the things that you've already been doing. What advice would you give to someone else that was in business or in entrepreneurship? And share with us, what has made the difference in your business that you can pass on to others. So we're super excited for this project. There's going to be so many different bonuses they're going to offer everyone, mainly a custom cover. So that is something new that we have not done yet before, but we're going to give everyone an opportunity to get a custom cover. So it's your name and your picture and your testimonial on the book itself, even though you'll be in a compilation with others.
Right, and also the great thing is I really want to reiterate that I want everyone to write their story, a little bit of struggle, how they got to their business too. So kind of half story, half what's working, and maybe give us tips along the way. So I think it'll be a lot of fun and useful and inspire other people, because if we have everyone write their tips, that will be a complete business book for anyone to open and use in their everyday work life.
Exactly. So a little bit of a different type of format, but rest assured, Mila is an awesome teacher and she's going to guide us through all of it. So we have an amazing team too from Pen to Publish. Mariah Miller is part of our team. She's the one that does all the beautiful typesetting and fonts and all the little details that really enhance a book.
Yeah, let me show you what we do. We every author gets an author page right before their chapter. So we make it very professional. Our books are beautiful inside because I've been making them for years and Mariah has too. So between us and with Olivia on the team, oh my gosh, we give everyone ad squares. We make beautiful copy for you to use and keep for the rest of your life. We teach you how to get on podcasts. You get to be on a podcast with Olivia. It's amazing what we're offering. I haven't heard of it anywhere else, and I'm so excited because I love teaching it and we're making it super reasonable. That's another thing we're doing.
Yeah, so please continue to reach out to myself or to Mila. Visit milajohansen.com for all the details for the Accelerate Your Business Success book that's coming up. And we'll be having some mini courses in between. There's Write Your Short Book in a Day, a speaking class in January. We'll be offering an open house to answer all your questions for this book project. But we invite you to join us and celebrate books and celebrate writing and celebrate you, most importantly. So thank you all so much for tuning in. If you're watching this on replay, continue the conversation. Let us know what your memoir could be about and what you would like to share as far as family memories and the stories that can come about. So join us over in the Facebook group, and we'll see you for a big celebration launch. Bye-bye.